guys, it's Zach here with Secrets of Longevity in Humans.com as well as martin-kilgour.com. And spring has definitely sprung here, and I'm outside enjoying the sun as I'm shooting this video, multitasking. And I wanted to fill you in on some of the experiments I'm conducting on myself. Last week I mentioned I was about to start a 6-month no sugar diet, and I'm already in that. I started that on Monday, and it's been going fantastic. The first day I definitely had a bit of a strange feelings at the end of the day, a little bit of dizziness and lightheadedness. I probably was just on a shift because I didn't gradually decrease my sugar as much as I should have. I had been doing that over the last week leading up to Monday. However, that weekend I was very busy and I did indulge in a bit more sugar than I wanted to. So if you are one that's looking for going no sugar for any period of time, I would recommend really being conscious about doing it gradually, because the body does take time to switch its metabolic gears, so to say, to run more on fats, proteins, and more complex carbs if that's what you're choosing to do. Now, the rest of the week has been going fantastic. I've had no urges really to consume any sugar, whether it's fruit or agave or honey or any of these things. It was my brother's birthday yesterday, and he had an amazing cake that looked very delicious, but I didn't really have much of an urge to consume it because I had my blood sugar balanced, and I've actually probably wouldn't have consumed it anyways if I was consuming sugar, because it was not raw and had a bunch of other things in it I just wouldn't consume. But yeah, that was in front of me. I had the opportunity to eat it, and I just didn't really even feel to touch it. But yeah, another experiment, which is what I wanted to focus on today, was for the next week. I'm just doing a short little thing here. I'm going to really up my Maca intake. I've been listening to Dr. William Wong a lot, and Brandon Damon's also been talking about this. I think he's experimenting with this himself. Dr. William Wong, who is an anti-aging doctor, exercise physiologist, and talks about a wide range of issues pertaining to long-term health, and a big one is the endocrine system and keeping your testosterone at high levels. I'm a young guy. It might not be the thing I need the most of, but I have been eliminating phytoestrogens in my diet, and so I feel that going a week with doing 6 tablespoons of maca a day might be appropriate for me at this time. I just feel drawn to do that and see how I feel doing that. So yeah, maybe I'll provide a recipe. I'll provide more information about maca in another video if you're not familiar with it, or if you want to know more about its effect on the endocrine system. It is able to bind to various chemicals or hormones in the body that turn free testosterone into DHT and other less beneficial hormones in the body. However, we want to have higher levels of free testosterone, and maca helps with that, and it also provides precursors to progesterone in the body, which can help make DHEA, testosterone, and other beneficial anabolic androgenic hormones that we need to stay healthy in the long run, for sure. I've been getting a lot of people talking to me about this, and they're sharing their opinions, and that's fine if you've got a different opinion. We know what is actually happening. There might be studies on phytoestrogens and their roles in preventing cancer, etc. However, there is, in experiential practice, places even like the Mayo Clinic, which is very mainstream, they know that phytoestrogens boost cancer. It's not some in vitro study where you're isolating specific compounds and seeing how they interact. You're looking at the whole body and a whole nutrient and or a whole food and its nutrients it's composed of and how those affect the body, not looking at isolated things and how they interact, because you can never get a broad picture of health doing that. It's helpful to know that, for sure, and I am very much interested in biochemistry in that way, and it's helpful to understand things further, but we also need to look at what the results people are getting are. So eating a large amount of maca isn't going to be for everyone. It's definitely something you want to work up to, just like with decreasing your sugar intake. You really, with any of these kinds of things we do on ourselves, you want to move into them a little more gradually, not do sudden changes, as there can be definite challenges that can arise from that. I know Matt Monarch one day, one of his videos on the Raw Food World, went off and took like 18 tablespoons of maca or something, and he didn't actually show the entire process and follow up on it, but I wouldn't do something like that personally. I think 6 tablespoons is the max. I'm interested in going to. Dr. William Wong talks about taking 4 to 6 tablespoons a day to get the real benefits of maca. And maca is a goitrogen, not as strong as some of the other known goitrogens like kale, cabbage, and other these more hybridized vegetables. However, when you're taking larger amounts of it, it would definitely be beneficial to take kelp. If you're taking a smoothie, to take kelp powder in with it, or other seaweeds. And I take tons of seaweeds on a daily basis anyway, so I'm not concerned about that. And I do think that a lot of people have other factors going on that disrupt the thyroid, that adding more goitrogenic foods on top of that might not be the best thing. But in this instance, it has far more benefits than detriments. And again, I'll go over maca in more detail at a future time, but if you do want to learn more, you can check out the articles I've written on maca in the top right hand info box, and as well as a link to a place where you can find some high quality maca powder. And you want to get the straight maca powder, not all these like capsulated maca to try and avoid the flavor. Part of taking a food is, or a herb or a superfood, is that we want to get the flavor in it, which is part of the medicine in and of itself. Well, I've actually had the shadow of the house slowly creeping up on me here, so I had to just shift the camera. But yeah, we want to be able to get the flavor of an herb or superfood to really familiarize our body. That's part of the process of intaking it, and it's very beneficial to enjoy the flavor, or let yourself enjoy it. Our taste is definitely something we have control over. We might not like the flavor of something, but we can teach ourselves or will ourselves to start liking something. For example, a lot of kids, they're really focused on the sweet flavor and they don't really like much else, but over time you develop a palate for sour flavors, astringent flavors, spicy flavors, and even at times you might start liking one flavor more over another, but we really want to get a well-rounded taste for all these different flavors in the foods we eat. So yeah, with superfoods, specifically with maca, the bulk powder is the most cost-effective way to consume it. You don't want to get all these little capsules to have to take a dozen capsules a day and paying like 3 times as much just because they've been encapsulated and put in a bottle. So my favorite way to take maca is in smoothies, and I'll share a recipe later in the week about that.